Okay, welcome everybody. Bonjour, bonsoir, good morning, good evening à tous et bienvenue. Welcome to this week's Wada Forum. I feel like we're officially in summer mode. June, mid-June, that feels like a great time. And this is our first session of June. We had some challenges last week, but we are back. And glad to have you all with us today. Thank you for being here. So on our agenda for the day, we're going to talk a little bit about the summer break plans. And we're also going to give you some updates from the budget, kind of the budget process. Some of you might have some ideas what's going on, but we'll share a bit more today. And then we'll have hopefully some time to chat about it at the end. Seems like we've got a nice group here today. Thanks everyone for being here. Next. All right, here's our usual resources that we love to share, just different knowledge bases. The three things we almost always talk about, we've got Intersect, we have Cardano, we have SNet. Recommend you check out these links if you want to dive deeper into anything that we highlight today, just to give you some more background in those areas. Next. Okay, here I want to see who else is in the room. So do I have a volunteer to read? Let's see. I see Boaz is here. Maybe Boaz, you'll help us with the French in a minute. And then Nana Safo, I'd love to hear your voice this morning. Would you read the English?
Yeah, sure, I can do that. Thanks for calling on me. All right, so our mission here is, as always, to elevate and underrepresented groups through the application of technology and invest in a more equitable future. So, like I always put it, our main mission or our line of focus really is to give Africa, the representation it needs in this blockchain space, and as well give the blockchain space the representation it needs in Africa. So that is pretty much what we are doing, and I think that is one of the reasons why we are here as well. Thanks, Megan.
Bonjour ou
Magnifique,
bonsoir selon
merci.
l'ère où vous êtes. Je vais lire la déclaration d'intention de WADA en français, comme c'est déjà lié en anglais. Notre mission, élever les groupes sous-représentés grâce à l'application de la technologie à investir dans un avenir plus équitable. Merci.
Merci beaucoup, Boaz. C'est bien de t'entendre. All right. Well, moving right along. Many of you know that we kind of have switched up, the meeting structure this year in 2025. We're focusing, thus far we've had more of a public-facing event the first week of each month that we've been streaming on Twitter as well as the Zoom. And then the between sessions have been more like this one, just close-knit on Zoom, just the WADA family. The next slide, we're talking about our summer plans. So we're debating, a lighter schedule for the summer. We do still plan to meet, but we are thinking about transitioning more to kind of X spaces. So keeping hopefully those big first week of the month sessions, and then saving it for impromptu sessions as things come up over the summer, and look for those as Twitter spaces. And now maybe I'll pause here if anyone wanted to just add to that. Talk a little bit, maybe Nana Safo, you want to talk a little bit about what our plan is for the July session on Twitter?
Well, yeah, it's okay, right? You putting me on a spot, but it's okay. So for July, we are planning to, have this event where we are probably going to host the founding entities, which is Cardano Foundation, IO, Intersect, and Emergo, to discuss possibly what solutions we could implement to ensure that DREPs from this side of the world, or better still, DREPs who have sort of low stake, could effectively participate in governance. So that is something that we really are working towards, achieving, because we know very well that Africa, especially, is leading low stake DREPs, and it is not encouraging at all if you look at the numbers. So I mean, at this moment, if there are other DREPs on this call, I would just urge on them that once the time is due, they show up to come and have the discussion, so that at least we have something that we can all work with to make sure that at least in the nearest future, we would also begin to see higher numbers in terms of delegation from Africa and the rest of the world, just to curb this low stake participation and stuff like that. So yeah, it probably would be on Zoom, but then we'll have a live broadcast to X as well. So if you want to have a look at our account, which is Wada_org, and once there's a communique, you get notice, or you get the details from there, and then we can take it from there. Thanks for the opportunity, Megan.
Yeah, awesome. And I do hope, we have that we're able to get everyone together for next month. I think some people are starting to feel some fatigue, right, from the governance, and we'll get into that a little bit. I have some updates on the budget side, but I won't jump ahead, actually. We'll continue with our agenda. So next, I think we're going to talk about okay, just jumping right into it. I don't know, is Samuel here? Sometimes I don't know if he's hiding in the Wada account. Okay, maybe not. But that's okay. Let's jump into the budget. And this one, I was thinking it should be more of like a discussion. So I know we're a small group today. So don't be shy to come off of mute. I will talk a little bit about what I know, and then we could have maybe a back and forth on what's going on. So first of all, I am taking off my Wada Forum hat, I guess, and putting on my budget committee hat. Many of you know I am recently elected to the budget committee. I'm also very humbled to announce that I will start fulfilling the position of vice chair on the budget committee, effective, I guess, immediately. Which basically means that I'm the backup to the chair for the time being, and will transition to the chair role in the next rotation. So you can all clap for me. Moving along. So the interesting thing, I guess, to talk about regarding the budget committee at this time, you all know about the governance action. We've been talking about it a lot, I guess. There's the main governance action for the 275 million ADA withdrawal, which is essentially the group together intersect budget proposal of all of the different projects that were agreed upon through the numerous workshops that were held over the past months, honestly. And a lot of deliberation by DREPs and the community. So that governance action is it passed. That was the info action. And now we're looking to how do we actually submit the next thing for the Treasury withdrawals. So over the weekend, the budget committee posted it's a tool called Ecclesia. Ecclesia poll. Basically, it's a platform to kind of get some sensing from the DREPs before we actually put things live on chain. But just to outline potential options for how to do the withdrawal. And, there's a range of options. And at the end of the day, we're looking at the stake that votes for each. We all we talk about this a lot. It's not how many DREPs, but it's how much ADA cares about what. So it seems like the highest trending option is to do 49 different treasury withdrawals, which, let me just tell everyone here from the budget committee perspective, is not a very feasible option. So we understand it might be, what the community prefers, but just kind of the administrative side of that would be quite challenging. So we're kind of trying to figure out how to address this desire from supposedly from the DREPs, based on this poll, but to, make it more administratively feasible on our end. But like I said, I don't want this to necessarily be just a monologue. I'd love to hear, what you guys think, if there are questions, if you guys have ideas in the audience. So I see, I know Nana Safo is here. He's been talking. Boaz, I don't know how involved you are with the Goma DREP, but maybe you could talk about if you're following the situation and if you saw the poll over the weekend and what you thought. Boaz. And then Nana Safi, you can weigh in as well. And anyone else, of course.
Hello, can you hear me?
We heard you say hello, and then it might have broken out, or did you say anything else? Sorry, Boaz, it looks like maybe you're trying to talk, but we're not hearing you. Maybe we can start with Nana Safo and try to come back to you, or feel free to put in the chat anything.
All right. So, well, I think it has been a bumpy journey, I would say. Lots of back and forth. And it is just community members wanting to really test the systems that we have built for this governance process, which is, of course, interesting to note, because what it means is that people are no more sleeping on the jobs. Like initially, people didn't really care about what the ecosystem is going through and how people are even, managing the ecosystem and stuff like that. But right now, it looks like there's genuine concern for how people are, running things and, working out things. So I think it is great. That is the first thing. The second thing is that, personally, I am not too conversant with, or let me rather use the word content with, the outcome of the Ecclesia, polling, in a sense that there's a lot of work that needs to be done. And like you put it, in terms of administration, it's a lot of weight that you guys really have to, work around now, as well as, for DREPs, even though some DREPs are, or some people are saying in the ecosystem that, it is not too much of a work for DREPs to vote on 39 different treasury withdrawal actions. But I feel like that is not entirely true, unless they just want to vote haphazardly. Perhaps they have, the favorite proposal that they want to vote for. So they'll go ahead and vote for those ones like straight away without even reviewing what is in the content, stuff like that. And then they have those that they hate that they want to actually vote out. They will just go ahead and vote them out as well, right? But I think for me, I think we could have gone an easy way. We could have gone a very simple way, where at the end of the day everybody will feel happy. But that being said, also, I think it is useful, or it is essential that as DREP, we respect what the community has broadly supported. So of course, whatever the outcome is what we are going to work with, obviously. But we understand that it's going to be a lot of work, and we are just about bracing ourselves for, what is ahead of us, because 39 proposals to work on within like 1 or 2 months. It's not a joke, but hopefully we're able to cross, this hurdle as and when it is necessary to do so.
No. Oh, sorry. I think it cut out on my side. I thought you had stopped.
Oh no, I was
just wanted
here.
to add.
Can you hear me?
Okay. Yeah, you're absolutely right. A challenge with submitting now individual withdrawals is now essentially that we approved the info action, but now there's, it's a good and bad thing, I guess, but now there's kind of the individual, each thing that basically needs to get approved again.
Mm-hmm.
So that's interesting. So we are looking at different ways of grouping them to kind of satisfy that, but just kind of wondering what everyone thought. Does anyone else want to speak up about it?
So are you guys now sort of looking at grouping it in terms of, in terms of which, like for instance, the proposal that sort of, reached 67% and above, you group them into one and then the rest into one, or what is the plan like now?
No, exactly. It's figuring out how to group them. So like you said, that would be one option. But I would be hesitant to say which way we're leaning one way or the other because it's still an ongoing discussion. So I don't want to say something here and people to treat that as any kind of an announcement. Yeah.
That's fine.
Well, another option, we kind of went through the announcements part, I guess, of the call today. And then we left it open-ended for any discussion that was to follow. But if there's not too much discussion, maybe we'll go back to just kind of reminder of what the summer is going to look like. So we will pause on the Zoom calls, these between weekly Zoom calls over the summer months. So the rest of June, July, and then stay tuned for any updates in August about when we come back. But in between that time, look out for the first event of the month. That will be, both the Twitter and Zoom as we've been doing. And then look out for any, impromptu weekly sessions on Twitter. If there's, a discussion, we don't know where we'll be at. Maybe we'll have some more things to talk about with this process, for example. We would hope that Catalyst might be starting, right? So maybe something about that, etc. So maybe we can close it here and say thank you, everyone, for joining us today. And we hope that everyone does enjoy their summer. So yeah, Catalyst funding, basically that's kind of up for debate right now in terms of these, how these Treasury withdrawals come about, because it's kind of going to come down to what can be prioritized, the timing of that withdrawal. So stay tuned for exactly how that will come. But that's kind of the most concrete example, right, of the challenge of needing to kind of split apart the withdrawals, etc.
Yeah, that's true.